What's going on? Do I have audio? I do. Okay. So we're going to do some research. How do we make Texas brisket? Right? So this last weekend, I went to Kansas City to see Jeremy Yoder from Mad Scientist Barbecue, right? And he was there with Chud Barbecue, another really popular YouTuber, and they were doing this very, very basic Texas barbecue is better than Kansas City barbecue. Changed my mind. So I was obviously very interested because I'm a huge fan of brisket, and I happen to think that I make a pretty darn good brisket. So I'm over here like, okay, well, if this is how we want to play, then I'm down. So I went down there. I tried this brisket, and it showed me how completely behind the brisket world I really am. It was pretty sad because I was pretty off guard, right? Um, so I really didn't really know how to react to it too terribly much because I used to think that my brisket was pretty darn good, and I still think it is. But this was very meaty. It didn't have any major amounts of sauce. Um, it wasn't extremely peppery, but it was really goodly crusted. I mean, I wish I had a good way to explain it to you guys, but the video isn't posted yet, so you can't really see it. However, I have the pictures from my phone. I suppose I could send a couple of them over. Hold on, so I could show them. It's pretty incredible. So that kind of challenged me in all the right ways, right? To be like, okay, well, I need to do this because this is obviously the way that the world views barbecue. So I am going to get some videos here and send them over. Send them to my computer here so we can view them. Then we will take a look at them together. So, to myself, because somehow in 2022, 2023, email is still the only way to get photos from my iPhone to my Windows computer, because apparently they still don't get along. Even though if it was a Mac, I could just very easily click AirDrop. I don't know. It's a pain in my neck. It looks like I could download the iCloud Drive app on my PC, I suppose. But that makes way too much sense, and then I wouldn't be able to complain about it. So, here we go. Check this out, right? Look at how this is broken down. All the fat has completely rendered and spread through this meat. Now, I'm going to assume that this is like a choice brisket. Now, I spoke to Jeremy briefly while we were there, but like, I mean, he's got 500 people around him, so it's not like I'm going to be like up in his face because, I mean, let's be completely honest, this guy doesn't want to hear from me. So I'm over here like, okay, how did you make the brisket? Give me some details. I want to hear everything. So, like, if I look at this, I mean, just look at that. And it was incredible. Like, it passed the bend test just fine. Um, it was able to cut just fine. Like I took a couple brief moving captures. I mean, crazy. And as you see, it was just kind of falling apart there like you want it to. I I really don't know how else to explain it. So here's some pictures of the smokers. Uh, 500 to 1,000 gallon smokers, just these massive beasts. And wow, was it ever good? The lines weren't bad, but like I said, it changed my whole life. So what we have here is some bark, and then we have some bark. We have the smoke lines. We've got a pretty good, I'm gonna guess, 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit bigger of a fat layer there. And this is what I'm going for, right? So let's set some goals. Texas brisket. Less pepper taste, but still good bark. So, because my briskets traditionally, and I can go get a picture of my briskets so you guys can see here. Some of you have seen and had my briskets. I don't know who's all watching and not, but we'll get some pictures of my briskets and we'll talk about it. I've posted videos of my briskets before as well. Once again, I gotta email myself. Maybe I should just set up iCloud Drive, don't you guys think? But for now, this will work. Okay. Let's get two. iCloud Photos, just download. 30 megabytes, good thing my internet's fast. Open. Extract all, because for some reason it zips them. Because 1995 called and it still hasn't figured this out. So usually when I make my brisket, I start with a really good layer of thick, granular salt and pepper. And that's what you can see there, that crusty looking salt and pepper. And then I go over the top with my favorite seasoning, which is the Jess Pryles Hardcore Carnivore. And that's kind of what creates my bark. And it always looks really black. That's kind of what you see here. It's not the greatest picture in the world, but as you see, it renders really well. So here's a video, right? Always turns out really, really good. But like, as you see, that bark, it's very based on the seasonings. I did not get a seasoning overload from that Texas brisket. So I want to go for meat taste. So I'd say that's number one. I need to have a good smoke ring. Okay. Good smoke ring. And then I would say, what else we got? It's really, really moist, so maybe we should talk about moisture. I don't know how to spell, so we're just going fast here. And then, that's kind of a bad picture. But it obviously needs to pass the pull apart tenderness. So, how do we figure this out? Well, pretty easy. We go to the trusty internet. So let's open a YouTube. Let's just Google it. What are the characteristics of Texas barbecue brisket. Let's see. What makes Texas barbecue special? Just salt and black pepper, cooked low and slow over direct heat using hickory or post oak or other. Okay. I don't trust Dickies at all if you've ever eat their food. It's not good. Hmm. What do you. Where's a good one? Texas versus. Okay. So. It's all in the cut. The finer points of brisket with side trips into pastrami. I don't care. Yeah. We know much about. We know a pretty good amount of stuff about the muscles and points and flats. What we want to do is figure out what makes it Texas and how do I achieve that barbecue that they had this weekend. 225 to 250 for 8 hours or more. Dirty secret, okay? This is what I do, right? They focus on some fancy rub. So, okay, let's look at this. It's telling me that Aaron Franklin has a recipe called the No Frills. Aaron Franklin, arguably one of the best barbecue cooks in the country. His barbecue restaurant has hours and hours and hours of a wait out front of it every day. So, I mean, he's a good start. Slow cooker? What the hell? Okay. Man, that was kind of a bust, but let's go see. What? Clicked new on Aaron Franklin's thing, and it sent me to a random website. I'm thinking they have a bad link on their website. So let's just Google it. Aaron Franklin, Texas brisket. Oh, he's got a video. That's fun. Maybe we should take a look at that. I have watched his master class before. It was very, very, very good. But I don't want to watch it again right now. Okay, here's a step by step. A little bit about him. Yeah. History. Yeah. Expansion. Yeah. He's a big deal. Yeah. And he is. He is a big deal. Don't let me hear you not say that. Okay. Don't cut corners. Okay. Except for the corner when you start cooking it, so you can tell which way the grain's going, because you want to always cut against the grain. So you always cut against the grain so you know where to cut. Simple salt and pepper are fine. 16 mesh coarse grain pepper. Okay. Traditional post oak. I am planning to use my offset to do it this weekend. Don't use any green wood. I never would. That would be a terrible, terrible decision. Go figure. Snake River Farms is advertising here to try to get you to spend $400 on a brisket. Don't. Only buy brisket at like Costco or like Sam's Club, Fairway, wherever you want. Traditional offset smokers built from things like propane tanks. Mine is not built from a propane tank. Mine is a purpose-built hardened steel. Beautiful smoker. Water, okay. add a pan of water to my cook chamber. This will help add moisture and humidity inside the cooker. Okay? A moist and humid cooking environment will prevent the food from drying out and assist in smoke penetrating the meat. Okay? A brisket is a large cut. It sure is. I'm going to make a 15-pounder this weekend. Cooking at 250, which will be hard because keeping a giant fire consistent at 250 for 12 to 15 hours is going to take a long time. Butcher paper. Yep, I've heard Aaron does his brisket and put in butcher paper, and I've used butcher paper for, I don't know, the whole time, right? The whole time. So now, oh, here's Jess right here. So, like, other barbecue stores have started using this tinfoil method, which I've tried on my smoker, and I really like it. So we'll do a little research on that while we're fiddling with this as well. I kind of like to do a little bit of both personally, but we'll see. Iconic Weber kettle. A lot of people smoke on these Weber kettles, and they have amazingly good luck. Bullet smokers are also very, very cool. Those are like the Kamados, big green eggs. People really like those. Lately, I've seen a lot of people in the competitions just be rocking these like oil drums. Crazy. Crazy. Anyway. I'm not using a prime rib brisket. Actually, no, I think we are using a prime brisket. I don't remember. I'd have to ask. I'm pretty sure we picked up a prime brisket. I don't have a memory for these kind of things. Half and half kosher salt, 16 mesh pepper. Okay. Half and half, huh? Easy. So this is where I mess up. Don't go too heavy. An even coat, but you can also choose a brisket rub. See, the brisket rubs are really popular, but they're also very expensive. Like Texas Brisket from How to Barbecue Right. His channel, they're $12.99 for like this big, right? Texas Brisket, this big, $12.99. When you're already spending $50 on a brisket, $70 on a brisket, $12 on a thing of seasoning, crazy. Spritz, okay. Liquid, okay, any liquid can be used to make a spritz, but he recommends apple juice. Does he mean apple juice, or does he mean apple vinegar? So the issue with apple juice is any sugar on the meat will cause potentially a little burning on the outside. So we'll look into that. Let's pull up our notes and take some notes here. So 50 salt, pepper, apple juice, water. Okay. All right. Trim the fat cat. So, yep. Yep, that's about right. Yep, that's pretty normal. Fat side down. Offset smoker, fat side up. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's go check out the next lowercase g of meat, and that's gonna be Meat Church. Let's go see what he's got to say. He wants you to use his seasoning. Shocking. Butcher paper or aluminum foil. Okay. Holy cow, 70-30. Allow the meat to sweat it out. Yeah, it's all normal. Fat side up, yep. Oh, it's probe tender. Okay. Well, he doesn't have a whole lot of shocking things. He's got a video. Let's go check it out.
Jump into seasoning it.
Let's see what Matt's got to say here.
We're going to get going. But listen, it's nighttime here at my house. My whole family's in bed, and we're going to do this the right way. We're going to all-nighter it. Low and slow on this thing. I'm going to be tired come tomorrow, but I don't want to take any shortcuts when it comes to what Texas barbecue is all about, and I'm going to do it right.
Low and
so
slow,
hope you guys enjoy it. My seasoning process is simple. 2 parts holy cow to
yeah, we're not advertising.
Nice
do what you
even.
want.
So I'm going kind of moderate.
Okay, so this is interesting. It's pretty rounded there. So he must trim this thing up a lot. OMG, that's got to be trimmed a lot. All right.
The holy cow, to skip ahead, but I cook fat up. That's the traditional Texas way, so that's why we season the meat side first. But there's no right or wrong way. If you prefer to cook meat up, you're welcome to do that. That makes a fine brisket. It's very prevalent in competition. I'm gonna check on my fire hard. I know 70 degrees.
Looks like he's using a mill scale.
Bump the temp
it's a really
up
popular
about
offset.
250 degrees.
If you've got,
we're gonna cook it till this brisket is.
If you've got a whole bunch of money laying around,
simple.
They're very expensive.
A lot of ways to skin a cat when it comes to cooking a brisket. If y'all follow me for a while, you know my online recipe has been to cook a brisket at 275 degrees. Well, that's a method that I run with when I need to get it cooked
275,
like 9 to 10 hours. But I'm going to smoke this brisket overnight, so I'm going to go low tonight. We're going to cook this at 225 degrees or so.
225.
It's okay if you vary from that just a little bit.
He's got some time on his hands.
And wrap it sometime.
A really pretty fire.
So I tell people, don't be intimidated by running a fire. This is actually super relaxing.
That's actually Mountain Dew, right now, in case you were curious.
Good temperature. The firebox in the door is about big temperature changes, and then the stack is where I kind of fine-tune things.
So fun things to notice here. This is a good idea. I don't know if you guys are smoking on an offset or pellet or whatever, but putting your wood here lets the wood actually heat temperature, or at least bring it up a little bit from cool to warmer. That way it produces less smoke when you throw it in the fire. Because when wood goes from cold to hot, obviously it's going to condense and put out some moisture, which is actually going to put out some smoke. And that's actually not good smoke. That's just going to be dirty smoke. So by getting it up to a higher temperature, by putting it on there, it's helping bring the temperature up.
Right
so
here. Thick white smoke. So if I want to make small adjustments, I kind of mess with it here.
So if you look at this, you can kind of see his stacks open about 50% there. So maybe a little bit more than that. So we'll fiddle with that.
It gets too low, I'm going to open the door, give it a bunch of oxygen and some small pieces to kick the fire up pretty quick. But this is going to be a calm, relaxing night for me. I'm about to send my crew to get some sleep, and I'm going to sit here, enjoy some beer and an unusually cool.
He means a Mountain Dew.
So we'll see y'all. Well, good morning, y'all. It's been a night.
So he didn't show much video the whole night. I'm curious. Did he say what time it is right there?
Spritzer and left.
Let's see.
Well, good morning, y'all. It's been a long but relaxing, fun night, I would say. Needless to say, I've switched to Monster. Left the Miller Lite at some point overnight. But the mill
looks
scale
like a peach
has run
monster.
Great. It's been rocking 225 all night. It's time to wrap. I've just temped the briskets. I'll show you that. They're temping just above 165. So the time doesn't really matter. You're looking for visual cues and the right internal temperature. And now we're going to wrap in unwaxed butcher paper.
Yeah, everybody does that right there.
Nice weather in Texas. rest. I want to wait for this.
Okay, so he just used butcher paper.
On the
Okay, yeah, it looks pretty moist. See it kind of flapping there? Not sure that's exactly what I'm going for. I think this would be a really great product. I think it would taste delicious, but it's not supposed to have that much
I know y'all hear the
papery give.
camera clicking there. I've been a model.
And look how much
with my meat
moisture
most of
he's
my life,
losing there on his cutting
just
board. So the meat probably didn't rest long enough. Reabsorb all of its moisture. Wow,
Now,
is that?
on the point, the grain actually runs a different direction, so you should spin that.
Yeah.
Brisket.
Okay, let's go see what the main man, mad scientist, has to say about this. So this guy knows his stuff. I don't care about tallow. Top 10 brisket showdown. This might be interesting.
Hey guys, welcome to Mad
Oh wow, that's so. This is Jerby. He's got his own barbecue restaurant. Really popular. He actually, I think he actually beat Aaron Franklin in Texas's best barbecue.
Today I'm here with Johnny White from Goldie's Barbecue, #1 barbecue restaurant in Texas. And you probably know him as Jerby Barbecue from YouTube. But today we're going to test out some of the methods that the top restaurants use to cook their
Goldie's
brisket.
is this restaurant he runs. His YouTube channel is Jerby's Barbecue, though.
If you don't know about
Oh, we're gonna skip the sponsor. Mad Scientist Barbecue sounded like they were using Audible.
All right, Jerby.
Big fan
we
of
have
Audible. I
3
listen to Harry
briskets
Potter
here.
on it
They're
every day.
all from the same manufacturer. Everything. They're all similar in size.
Look at all these
And so to do
ads.
this test,
Goldie's,
we're gonna try
Goldie's,
3 different
Goldie's.
methods. What are the 3 different methods we're going to use?
So today we're going to be using the Goldie's method, the Franklin method, and the foil boat method.
So like the Leroy and Lewis type way.
Yes, the Leroy and Lewis.
Okay, so these are 3 examples of top.
So those are like 3 really popular Texas barbecue stores, right? Goldie's is there in Dallas. Aaron Franklin is in Austin, and the other one was. Geez, actually, I don't remember. I think it's outside of Dallas a little
Top
bit.
10 restaurants in Texas. And so we're going to do a blind taste test and give them a fair shake.
Yes.
Are you nervous at all?
No, not reason. Yeah.
Which one I would prefer?
Yeah.
So a very similar color. See what I mean about? Oh, they kind of have rounded edges too. Did you guys notice that? Okay, kind of very rounded, just like the other ones were. They're also using a pretty small offset. I can't tell what brand it is there. Let's see if he says in the comments. They like to try to sell things here. Who knows?
I'm excited about this.
Okay. Yeah, if you haven't yet, you definitely should follow Mad Scientist Barbecue.
So
This
let's take
guy
a peek
knows his
before we
stuff.
start wrapping them up. Here at Goldie. Something like that. Okay, so can you...
So here's the
They
master.
originated the foil boat, so he's a foil boat expert, and he's going to be a representative for that method here. So, how did it start, and how do you do it? What's the correct way to do it?
So it started when one of the sous chefs, I think he pulled the foil too short or something like that, but it ended up where the brisket wasn't completely covered in foil.
Funny, so it was an
they dropped the
accident?
foil. And then Evan walked up and he said, hey, that's a pretty good idea. And they kept doing it.
Because they liked it better and just kept rolling with it.
They liked it better and they kept rolling with it.
Okay, so can you demonstrate the proper way? Because I've
Yeah.
never done it.
So we're going to pull 2 sheets of foil. And then it keeps the top exposed so it can keep rendering and stay crispy.
Well, I don't want to give away Jeremy's video, but like I said, you should definitely follow Jeremy. So here's Jerby. So Jeremy's a co-owner at Goldie's with the guy you just saw.
Take this brisket right
He
here.
put tallow in the bottom.
Right on top.
Well, this is Aaron Franklin's way, yeah. Everybody thinks Aaron Franklin's secret is tallow. I'm not sure I buy it.
Under it, because usually when you don't want a whole lot of paper under it, because when you're feeling it for doneness, that can kind of get in the way of feeling the lean really, really well.
Got it. Well, us mere mortals use thermopens.
I have the same exact
Yeah,
thermopen.
No, when you're filming a lot of briskets, you want to be able to just like kind of pick it up, like that one's done, and throw it away.
Okay.
Maybe
Soon.
And then here's
And
Goldie's.
I have some cold tallow.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it right over here.
So she's gonna use
I
some
like to
tallow
about
too.
Half a cup of tallow, and I kind of put it
Half a
where I'm
cup.
going.
My grave.
Hold the foil.
Okay,
This
she's actually
side,
foiling it.
that
Why did I
side.
think that they
Then I'm gonna
didn't
kind of
foil or didn't
dry
cover their
top
brisket at all? That's interesting.
and
Okay, so here, let's take another note. Will we foil boat, full foil, or beach? Not really sure. Maybe I'll put up a survey later.
fold over. Of setting a good bark and rendering fat as much as possible.
So it's not about finishing it earlier. It's not the Texas crutch. It's just we want everything to be perfect by the time it's served.
Yes.
Okay? Now this is great. I have to try this. I mean, it obviously works. I've tasted the brisket, so I need to try it for myself. And thank you so much for showing us.
Yeah, thank you.
Let us know what.
Instagram yesterday. Tell me how they gamed it so that the
And so we have as
Oh
good a
geez, they
tasting
got a
panel as you could
big old
possibly hope
taste
for,
panel.
and then I
So
include
Chud
myself
was
with
one of the
tasting
people
brisket.
tasting
The process
brisket
is
this
gonna be pretty
weekend with
simple. We're
me.
gonna bring out one sample,
And that's kind of
and
like I
then
said, they got me in all the right places. I want to figure this out, and I don't want to take Jeremy's content. So I mean, you should really watch the video. But here, let's go. Let's just do. Let's try to come up with an answer if we're gonna use foil, boat, brisket. Who's all got one? Chud, Mad Scientist, shocking. Like I said, these two. No, here's Leroy and Lewis. This is interesting. So they're actually a restaurant.
It's a beautiful morning.
These are actually the people that
Cooking brisket
invented the
today.
foil
Got
boat
the fire
that I
started.
believe.
We're gonna throw these things on right now. It's a little bit before 8. You sift it out and then you pepper from Southern Got online and Diamond Crystal kosher salt. We like that they
Dude, I
have
wanna
a
get
really
one of these
similar
tubs.
kind of grain structure, and then there's
Dude,
really
look how
similar
much
sizes
seasoning is in
too.
that tub.
You can see the flakes of salt
Crazy.
and the pepper are really similar in size. You can even see it over here. They're getting just raw beef thing kind of bad in here. So we're gonna use this all day for these briskets. We're gonna use it for our burgers.
You ever get used to the smoke in the eyes?
I mean, kind of, but sometimes it just gets you. Well, you also can learn like getting too hot.
Ooh, did you guys see that sausage in there? There's a little sneak peek of some sausage.
And
Ooh, yeah, doggy. Barbecue
we
sausage.
have
Look at that sausage. I should make some sausage too this
pointing
weekend. That'd be
and moving it.
sick.
Try to go for like 275, 300.
275, 300.
Smallest smoker you
Well,
have.
keep in mind. Okay, so 275, 300. This is a huge pit. This thing looks like
Lower
it's
that temperature.
500,
That
maybe
temperature
750
window.
gallons. So the temperature to size ratio is different. There's more air there, so there's more flow, so there's not as much heat. So we shouldn't be shooting for that same temperature, but
We're just
The Costco Prime. Not too
Yep.
bad looking, honestly. Can't beat it though. Heavy.
Costco Prime.
mahogany
I'm
color.
using Sam's
They're
Club
gonna turn
Prime this
mahogany, these
weekend,
kind of
so I guess we'll
brown, and
see
they're gonna
there.
be really good.
Okay, skipping. Like I said, follow these guys. We're stealing their ideas, so okay.
Foil comes
So
up
this is
above the
their
tip of the
famous
brisket here
foil
on the
boat
front,
method.
Still kind of crimping out, and then same thing here on the bottom side here, covering up all this lean part, still kind of crimping out. And then I'm going to get over here to the side that's closest to me, and then just do the same thing, just kind of crimp out and down.
So they're crimping out
we
and
can
down.
form this any way that we'd like around the brisket.
Okay,
That's
so they're
basically
literally
the
just
foil
making a boat.
So what's nice about this is that the foil is hugged tight to the sides of where the lean is, right? So if we just put it in a half pan, this stuff would be kind of exposed and it could dry out a little bit. Having this kind of nice and hugged tight like that is like forming the half pan around the brisket. We can also touch them. Once we put them on, we really try not to mess with them. We try not to open the door too much. So top, side, kind of bottom, nice and covered. If we do want to open any part of it, it's kind of the burn end side, like this. The that you gotta wrap it like one into it if I want. Face the fatty toward the end there, because that's where the heat collects more. So I got the lean facing in.
Okay. So lean facing in is a note we'll take. Okay. So lean facing firebox, fat facing stack. Okay.
Facing kind of back. This is when the cook cycle ends when it goes below 160, basically. So if you want to rest it at 160, overnight, that's fine. As soon as you turn down to 140 for service, that's kind of when your timer starts, and you have basically 4 hours below 140 degrees to serve that. That's technically where you should be as far as the health department, as far as like bacteria and growth.
That's good to know.
And potentially hazardous
Rest at
food,
160.
as far as all that goes.
Serve
Maybe
at
stretch it a little
140.
bit,
4 hours
maybe
from
possibly,
140.
Probably. It's kind of a little way. Next one.
It's more like the pirate code. It's pipe. It's got some more guidelines. Okay, let's go see Goldie's barbecue tinfoil. Again, Mad Scientist is there. Smoke Joe's, Fatty's Feast. So here's Jerby. Let's see what he actually has to say.
Barbecue, the #1 barbecue place in Texas. And today, I'm going to be teaching y'all how to do the foil.
This is Jerby Barbecue. We're stealing his ideas, so make sure you follow him. Shout out to those guys down there.
See, this is looking really nice already.
Oop.
Trim down this lean. Trim down this mohawk.
See, you can always tell these guys have restaurants. Like, look how much meat he just cut off that, right? Like, the normal home cooks like us would never cut that off because, like, that's probably, like, literally $4 worth of meat. I mean, he's just going ham with this knife.
Round out the front just a bit. There we go. Now I'm going to trim down this side as well.
OMG. This is hurting my head.
Round out the
I mean,
front.
look at all this meat he just left there. You can't really tell because it's a bad camera angle, but my gosh, he cut a lot of meat off. So you can tell that he's gonna like use that meat in like a different cut, like
a little bit of extra fat
for sure.
Fat really softened up, and this when you
Okay, this is interesting. This is good content. Pros: bark and texture, fat render, crunchy. Some people like the texture. Okay to move, protects the brisket, fire management will help do this, cooks leaner faster. It says no, it does not, LOL. Cons: resting has rapid oxidation.
When you go to cut the brisket, you're gonna have rapid oxidation because the brisket has been breathing in that warmer all night. There's so much air in contact with it. As soon as you cut into it, it rapidly oxidizes and it dies on the board. That's what I found to be the biggest con of the foil boat. And then let's go back to the pro. Crunchy bark.
Now, and Jerby's who doesn't like the bark, his method.
About 5 hours into this cook.
Look at the size of these smokers. Those are probably 1,000 gallons each.
Whoa. Sorry, I got a little fucking humid in there. So I got the damper at about halfway. Let me see if it.
Nah, it's more like a quarter.
And then this is what the fire's like. I got the door all the way shut.
Well, it's a mill scale. It's a nice smoker.
Just burning a little fire like that. Nice and
Baby
slow.
fire.
Those are big logs too, so don't be scared to put the big logs in the mill scale.
275.
275, 300, 285. Pretty. Now you gotta let the pit do its.
Let's look at the size of these sticks. About hand.
I've just been kind of running a bundle fire. Just scoot some over, throwing them right on top, just like that. Now you gotta let the pit do its thing. The pit is gonna pull the. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and answer those. So before, be sure to install on the warmer for That's not good. I'm gonna go ahead and tempt this and see what we're looking like. What's crazy is I thought I wrapped it pretty late. Yeah, this bad boy is definitely done. I'm gonna let it rest for mess them in the warmer like that. So we're gonna with like 16 mesh. I think it's like as crispy as Goldie's is pretty much, even though I did the foil boat. But yeah, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know in the comments what method y'all would like to see me do next, and I'll make the whole pros and cons list about it. I'll do all that stuff. But wow.
Let's go see if he has a video about his method. Foil boat, Mad Scientist interview, chopped beef sandwich, Goldie's, smoker cleaning. Yeah, that's not gonna be fun. smoker talking. Trimming brisket, nothing. Oop, maybe. Wrapping brisket with tallow. Okay.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Jeremy Barbecue. Grab, take it out.
So he's using foil. He's not using foil here. He's using pink butcher paper and tallow. You don't know what tallow is. It's just the fat from your brisket that you've rendered down. You let it get cold and you put it in your brisket. I mean, he's got a lot of wrap there, so it kind of makes me think that they're using the wrap. Goldie's secret method. Okay, Smoke Trails. I don't know who you are, but we're gonna check this out.
The #1 barbecue restaurant pan with half a cup of. All right, let's get this started. I'm gonna use a really simple scoring technique. Look, a 1, which was my least favorite in terms of taste. Okay, moving on to the point now. Much flavor. So for tenderness, I'm scoring the paper and foil wrap brisket as my first choice. So I'm going to put a 3 for that one in the flat. For the foil held brisket, it was really tender, almost as tender as this one, but not quite there. But it was still a lot more tender than this one, which was a little bit drier. So I'm going to put that one, and I'm going to get a pretty thin slice of the point. Looks really nice. The bark is amazing. There's some of that yellow fat. It does taste better. It does taste better. And this is the first time I've kind of realized it. So kudos to that video with Jerby and Barbecue Rat and Jeremy from Mad Scientist Barbecue, because I had no idea that that yellow rendered caramelly colored fat would taste this good or was better. On skins, I left it on for another next face. Was a little bit more tender, but in the that I would have liked. The one thing that I would say is that if
All right, well, here's Chud and Jeremy. This is a year ago.
And today, I'm going to show you how I made this. Beautiful, delicious, smoky. 15 hours.
So he did the foil boat.
Out of the oven.
It's just, there's some. It's really good. There's a difference in texture that you get. Rather than the whole outside being soft, it's thinking about being crispy, but it's not burnt, it's not chewy. It's just, there's some extra texture, and then the soft meat inside, and the bark is just packed with flavor. So, very impressed by that. I didn't think I would like it this much. I get to see, that's pretty good, man. I'd eat it. All right, so that's like my favorite part of the brisket. That's my second favorite part. I see this beautifully rendered fat where it incorporates itself into the bark. Also, this is lots of juice, beautifully done, and I would expect nothing less from bread. But I'm gonna eat my favorite bite first. This right here. I'm just gonna tear this off. That's really freaking good, man.
I don't know. I feel like I gotta
really
try
good.
this.
Maybe pretty much.
I feel like we have to do this foil boat
Over there
option,
and do
right?
it. So they're putting out a lot of great content. But that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that 55.
I mean, see this foil boat, right? So I have always just wrapped it in pink butcher paper. But everybody's talking about this foil boat. So I kind of cheated a little while ago. I don't remember when I did it, but here, no, that's last weekend. That's not it. So like, I kind of cheated. So like, I did this. I foil boated it, but I like wrapped it after that. So I guess we'll see. Here's Chud's barbecue, just specifically on the wrap.
If you do collect too much juices, you can always pour them out. So back on the pit it goes. Maintain some temperatures.
The big old smoker.
Continue to cook. It's gonna get nice and juicy and extra crispy on. And all that right at to about stuff a little trash can and it's full. So wag, but part of this that I would throw. And it's gonna help that lean cook from the inside, almost like a braise. But because it's so late in the cook, there's not too much moisture left in here. We're clocking in right around 175 degrees. But the best part about the boat is, if you do collect too much juices, you can always pour them out. So back on the pit it goes.
Smokestack Joe. I think we'll give him a try.
I think I finally found the
background's
best
pretty
method
sick.
to smoking a at a try. That's one thing. Like I said over, just double no, shot me back. This Pinkerton's barbecue.
Seasoning.
So once wrapped in the morning, I want to check 300 degrees. Yeah. See off. And I'm going to show you definitely. Then I'm going to have one go in the fantastic, just for good measure. All right, now let's just get this thing ready. I'm going to let it. We're slicing this up.
So you wrapped it top to bottom. Did it just rest in there?
Beautiful. Have here. Any quicker if I decided I wanted to wrap it up. So the bark I was able to build on this thing is absolutely fantastic, but it's time to get it off and get it wrapped up, so let's get right to it. Now I'm following the Goldie's method. They did unwrap the whole time, then when they were ready to hold it, they pulled it off and wrapped it in some foil. So that's what I'm doing today. On this
That's interesting.
hours or so.
Okay, so it's not. Okay, so it's not full foil. It's full foil rest. Open air. Full cook. Okay, so that's interesting.
Let's jump into the future. The truth here. Let's slice this up. See how it came out.
Oh wow! Look at all that fat.
Oh yeah.
That is actually. Yeah. That brisket looks like garbage.
Beautiful. See
It's
how nice
not.
that smoke ring is on there?
Yeah, this
You're
guy's
gonna get
camera
that
is
because
just
we didn't
garbage.
wrap this at all. This thing feels super tender, but not overcooked. Let's get some slices out of this.
Yeah, let's
get
see
a
your
couple off
slices.
the flat
Maybe
here.
it's just a bad section. I don't know. This
We'll
brisket
cut
looks
this point
absolutely
in
terrible.
half.
Let's see it.
Let's check that out. That is a
Wow,
nice
this guy's got
brisket.
way too much light. Yeah, that brisket does not look good at all. You see how you don't see like the zones and all the broken down marbling, and I mean, if we go back to our goal, I mean, look at that. That looks absolutely nothing like that. This is not our goal.
All right, so check out the flat here. Nice. See, it still stays together. It's not overcooked, but nice and tender. Now, if you check out the point, so if you notice, you can kind of see up
Looks
here. You can
overcooked.
see this is a little overcooked. That's what
Yeah.
I try to avoid. That's why I like pulling it early. But you can see that this part got a little overcooked, but not that bad. So all that's left.
You lose. Let's go see how Jeremy and Chud did on that last video.
Oh, what's going on?
Okay, so you can start to see the zones here. See the zones?
Muscular fat going on. These are specs that was left from that.
I mean, look at that marbling zones, right? If we're going for this, that's darn close.
Oftentimes you'll see people cutting that first slice, slicing that out, but
I wonder, did these guys slice their
Isn't
brisket?
some
Let's go
than
see.
20 of that. Serving juice a little bit closer. And kind of is the you can either to be.
I don't think he did. I think he just
It's
showed
11
the
for you.
brisket method. I don't
Resting,
think
it's
he
really
actually
not that
showed
hard.
it.
A lot of it is just intuitive. If it's too hot to hold, it's too hot to cut.
Okay, here's carving the foil brisket. Okay, let's see this.
Look at that. Doesn't get much better than that, folks.
I mean, that looks not well done either.
It's even.
Am I crazy?
Shingle it out. Make sure it looks really nice. When we're putting something down on a tray, want to make sure we know exactly where we're going to put it and place it without kind of moving it around. It's going to be good the tip, but it's just a second. Now we'll carve the fatty side. This is the really nice and square, so I want like a nice even kind of piece here. So this is going to be thicker than my slices going down the rest of it. But
Let's see. This is where we should
cut
see
through
the
that
marbling.
nice burn end right there.
Okay, yeah. That looks good.
And look at that.
See that? See all those lines? All that marbling between the layers?
If we didn't take that out, there'd be a bunch
Okay.
of fat right there.
That looks great.
A little bit thicker than the lean slices.
I think
Look
we
at
have
that
to use the
slice of
foil boat.
brisket.
Don't you guys? Yeah.
Could have done a little bit better there, but that's fine. Just like that. That's perfect. don't put dyes as much. Also, just want to talk about building a tray. What kind of little green, really great. Their plate composition.
That's
I think I've got
pretty.
room for another side down here. Nice.
Yeah, look at that. That's the last outcome. I mean, that looks as close to that as I think I can do. ING.
Stands up. 12 of our pork. Incredibly.
Where is Leroy and Lewis? Let's go find out. Stop Bing. Messing with me, browser. Leroy and Lewis barbecue. Austin. Okay. So it's just down the road from Franklin's. I wonder how far Franklin's is. Let's go see. Wow. 4 miles away. That's interesting. That's interesting that they're that close. Huh. Well, I think we're going to do foil boat. I think we're making that decision. I think we're going foil boat. Salt, pepper, 50-50. Gonna have to hit up a store. We're gonna shoot for 250-ish. Temp. And it's gonna take all night. Moral of the story, it's gonna take all night. I'll need about 90 minutes a pound. It's probably gonna be about 12 pounds, so it's about 18 hours. That doesn't feel right. Let's try that math again. So it's 14 pounds unsliced. I'll probably pull 2 pounds in fat off of it. I need 90 minutes per pound. Yeah, that's about 18 hours. Oof. It's a long time. 18 hours. So if we want it to rest a minimum of 4 hours and I want it ready for dinner Sunday, so it needs to be done by noon, 1 o'clock church time. So midnight. Five o'clock seems really early. Okay. Which means the fires start 1 p.m. This could be a 24-hour. Well, it's a 24-hour deal. I might need to get a tent and sleep outside. Maybe a cot. I wonder what the weather looks like. Okay. At least it's not going to rain. 1%. It's going to be windy, though. Okay. Yeah, pretty windy. 20-mile-an-hour winds. What? Why did you jump? Thank you. Higher wind gusts. Okay, well, it's fine. Because it actually sucks to smoke with high wind. So, partly cloudy skies. 40 degrees. Okay, so it won't get too cold. I'm going to burn a lot of wood at 40 degrees, but fortunately it won't be raining, so I won't lose too much. Does that say snow and rain mix? I feel like it does. Partly cloudy, windy gusts. High of 56. 20 to 30 mile an hour wind. Yuck. Okay, but that should be okay. And then it looks like the weather's going to start getting really nice, actually. So that's looking cool. Okay. Okay. Let's go check out Amazon. I feel like I'd be able to get this like 16 course at Hy-Vee. Let's go see. Maybe not? Question mark. Well, I might need to Amazon it. Or I can stop by like Shields. Shields will have a lot of options for me. Okay. Okay, well, I think we know what we're going to do, and I think we'll start prepping that, and I'll check in. I may live stream a little bit while we're cooking, take our camera out so you guys can see the prep. Take the camera out when I go to wrap. Maybe let's go live a couple times while tending the fire. Could be fun. I'll probably have a TV on outside. Maybe we'll do like a Lord of the Rings or like a Harry Potter straight watch through, something like that. I guess we'll see. But that's my hour of brisket, and thanks for watching, everybody.